From the notes of Dr. Malcolm Long, October 25th, 1985. First interview with Kovacs. Okay, now, I guess you know what this is. He's even more disturbed than I'd heard, but I'm optimistic. A success here could make my reputation. I want you to look at it and tell me what you see. He's very withdrawn, with no expression in either face or voice. Getting a response is often difficult. Will you look at it, Walter? Will you do that for me? Physically, he's fascinatingly ugly. I could stare at him for hours, except that he stares back, which I find uncomfortable. Nevertheless, I'm convinced I can help him. No problem is beyond the grasp of a good psychoanalyst. Well, Walter, what is it? A pretty butterfly. His responses to the Rorschach blot tests were surprisingly bright and positive and healthy. I really think he might be getting better. I just wish he wouldn't stare at me like that. His full name is Walter Joseph Kovacs, born 1940. Mother's name, Sylvia Joanna Kovacs, formerly Sylvia Glick. His father's name is unknown. Let's try another, shall we? How about this one? He's 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighs 140 pounds. For his age, he's in excellent physical shape. The police have beaten on him pretty badly. During the police strike of '77, he made several inflammatory anti-cop statements, and they've never forgotten. The cops don't like him, the underworld doesn't like him, nobody likes him. I've never met anyone quite so alienated. Come on, Walter. Do it for me, huh? Walter? How on earth did he get like this? Okay, Walter. Now, I want you to tell me what's on the card. Tell me what you see.
Oh, yes. Oh, you're hurting me. Oh, not so fast. Oh, that's right. That's right. Hey, what is this? Oh, God. You didn't tell me you had no kids around here. I get enough of this crap at home. Oh, baby, please listen. He's kind of backwards. Please, don't get mad. Here's $5. It's more than you're worth. $5? You bastard! Get out of my way, retard. Mom, I'm sorry. I thought he was hurting you. You little shit! You know what you just cost me? Mommy.
Well, Walter, what do you make of it?
Some nice flowers.
Wonderful. Walter, I'm very pleased with your responses. I really think there's hope, don't you? Ah, well, okay, Walter. I think that's enough for today. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Rorschach, you dead, man.
Woman first, mother. She's dead.
Gonna cut you, Fifi.
The sister
Rorschach. Get you, Rorschach. Talking to you, runt.
Yeah, what's the matter, you thief, or what?
I have to get something from the store for my mother. I got something I could give you, Mama. Everybody else does, way I hear it. Is that right, kid? Is your mama a hooer? Sure she is. He's gonna fix this up with her. Ain't that right, whore son? Hey, let me by. I have to go to the... You don't have to go no place, whore son. Look at him. Probably got cooties. Probably got diseases, whore son. exactly like a mad dog.
In 1951, he attacked an older child, partially blinding him with a lighted cigarette. He was 10 years old. Once his home life had been investigated, he was put into care. He seemed to improve. Excelling at schoolwork, Kovacs grew into a bright but unusually quiet child. Even in 1956, when informed of his mother's brutal murder, he restricted his comments to one word: good. Mal, are you done with this Rorschach case yet? Not Rorschach. Walter Kovacs. Rorschach's an unhealthy fantasy personality. Are you sure you're safe with this Kovacs guy? Don't worry. While he's at Sing Sing awaiting trial, he's under heavy guard. He's no threat. Not anymore. Well, let's hope not. Now come on, forget work. It's a beautiful night. Let's see if we can make it last forever. Good morning, Walter. Today I'd like... Oh, sorry, late night. Today I'd like to do something different. Frankly, Walter, I'd like to talk about Rorschach. Will you do that for me, Walter? Will you tell me about Rorschach? You keep calling me Walter. I don't like you. You don't like me. All right. Well, why is that, exactly? Fat, wealthy, think you understand pain. I'll tell you something, Doctor. I'll tell you about Rorschach. 1956, aged 16, left children's home, became unskilled manual worker. Job bearable but unpleasant. Had to handle female clothing. 1962, special order for dress in new Dr. Manhattan spin-off fabric. Viscous fluids between 2 layers latex. Customer, young girl, Italian name. Never collected order. Said dress looked ugly. Wrong. Not ugly at all. Black and white. Moving. Changing shape. Very, very beautiful. Nobody wanted it, meant for me, took it home. Learned to cut it using heated implements. Soon became bored. Fabric had no use. 2 years passed. Stopped at newsstand on way to work, bought paper. There she was. Woman who'd ordered special dress, Kitty Genovese. Raped, tortured, killed. Outside her own apartment building. Almost 40 neighbors heard screams. Nobody did anything. Nobody called cops. Some of them even watched. Do you understand? Some of them even watched. I knew what people were then. Behind all the evasions, all the self-deception. Ashamed for humanity, I went home. I took the remains of her unwanted dress and made a face that I could bear to look at in the mirror. A face, I see. Walter, is what happened to Kitty Genovese really proof that the whole of mankind is rotten? There are good people too, like... Like you? Me? Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. No, you just think it. Why are you spending so much time with me, Doctor? Because I care about you. And I want to make you well. Other people down in cells, behavior more extreme than mine. But then, they're not famous. You don't want to make me well, just want to know what makes me sick. Have patience, Doctor. You'll find out. Of course, what we have here is a classic case of misdirected aggression. Kovacs hated his mother. After her death, he needed somewhere to put the anger, and so he chose the criminal fraternity. The flimsy story about Kitty Genovese is obviously there to justify his behavior to himself. It's perfectly simple. Case solved. You'll find out. I wonder what he meant. Hey, Rorschach. You're pretty famous, right? boy, you know, I'd sure like your autograph. I got my autograph book right here in my pocket. The guards intervened, dragging Kovacs away to solitary and the other man to the prison hospital. As they dragged him away, Rorschach spoke to the other inmates. He said, "None of you understand. I'm not locked up in here with you. You're locked up in here with me." My earlier optimism was obviously unfounded. He's getting worse. So am I. Just read back what I've written above. The 6th line down should read, "Kovacs spoke to the other inmates." Kovacs, not Rorschach. Mal, you're never going to sleep with all that coffee inside you. I wasn't planning on sleeping just yet. This Kovacs case requires a lot of attention. Remember last night, Mal, when I required attention? Gloria, please. Good night, Mal. "You're locked up in here with me," he said. He's right. Absolutely right. All right, All right, Walter. This afternoon, I want to pick up where we left off. After the murder of Kitty Genovese, you decided to become Rorschach and... Don't be stupid. I wasn't Rorschach then. Then I was just Kovacs. Kovacs pretending to be Rorschach. Being Rorschach takes certain kind of insight. Back then, just thought I was Rorschach. Very naive, very young, very soft. Soft? How do you mean? Soft on scum. Too young to know any better. Molly coddled them. Let them live. Well, looking at your file, there's no record of serious violence against criminals before 1975. Like I say, soft. Hadn't realized the stakes we were playing for back then. All of us, me, my friends, all saw. You have friends? Kovacs had friends. Other men in costumes. All Kovacs ever was. Man in a costume. Not Rorschach. Not Rorschach at all. In 1965, worked with Night Owl, bringing street gangs under control. Tackled the big figure together. Brought down underboss together. Good team. Until he got soft like rest. Until he quit. No staying power. None of them. Except comedian. Met him in 1966, forceful personality. Didn't care if people liked him, uncompromising. Admired that. Of us all, he understood most about world, about people, about society and what's happening to it. Things everyone knows in gut, things everyone too scared to face, too polite to talk about. He understood. Understood man's capacity for horrors and never quit. Saw the world's black underbelly and never surrendered. Once a man has seen, he can never turn his back on it. Never pretend it doesn't exist, no matter who orders him to look the other way. We do not do this thing because it is permitted. We do it because we have to. We do it because we are compelled. From the notes of Dr. Malcolm Long, October 27th, 1985. His last words today were, "We do it because we are compelled." But he never says what it is that compels him. It's not his childhood, his mother, or Kitty Genovese. Those things just made him overreact to the injustice in the world. They're not what sent him over its edge. They're not what turned him into Rorschach. It's as if continual contact with society's grim elements has shaped him into something grimmer, something even worse. If only I could convince him that life isn't like that. The world isn't like that. I'm positive it isn't. Bought a Gazette on way home, including a small piece about Kovacs, which the news vendor pointed out excitedly. I guess he does that to everybody. Apparently, Kovacs visited his newsstand regularly. The coincidence is trivial, but unsettling. So was the front page. Russian tanks have entered Pakistan. At home, Gloria seemed anxious to sweeten things after yesterday and told me she'd invited Randy and Diana to dinner tomorrow. Was too exhausted to take in all the details and suggested an early night. From the notes of Dr. Malcolm Long, October 28th, 1985. Today, he told me everything. Hello, Rorschach. How are you today? In prison, yourself? Oh, fine. I'm fine. I thought we'd try some more blot tests. How about taking a look at this one for me? Seen this one before? Yes, I know. I thought you might have been holding back before, and I wanted to try it again. Go on. Tell me what you really see. Dog with head split in half. I see. And, what do you think split the dog's head in half? I did. 1975 kidnap case. Perhaps you remember. Blair Roche, 6 years old. Kidnappers believed she was connected to Roche chemical fortune. Stupid mistake. Father was bus driver. No money at all. Days dragged by. No word from kidnappers. Thought of little child, abused, frightened. Didn't like it. Personal reasons. Decided to intervene. Promised parents I'd return her unharmed. Visited underworld bars and began hurting people. Put 14 in hospital needlessly. 15th gave me an address. Disused dressmakers in Brooklyn. Bad neighborhood. Smelled of damp plaster and stained mattresses. Arrived there at dusk, no lights on in building. Something was making noise in wasteland at rear. Attacked dogs. 2 German shepherds fighting over a knob of bone. Didn't seem interested in me. Shock of impact ran along my arm. Jet of warmth spattered on chest like hot faucet. It was Kovacs who said mother then, muffled under latex. It was Kovacs who closed his eyes. It was Rorschach who opened them again. According to my informant, man using premises named Gerald Grice. Out drinking when I called, returned to dressmakers at 10:45. Dark by then. Dark as it gets. Hello, Fred. Barney, I'm home. Come on. Who's got a bark for Daddy? Oh, God! Oh, God! Who is it? Who's out there? I haven't done anything. I swear. Get off! Somebody get it off me! Oh, no. Oh, please. I haven't done anything. Oh, wait. Look. I know what you think. You think I'm something to do with that little girl. Well, you can't prove anything. I mean, where's the evidence? You can't do anything to me. Hey, wait a minute. That's mine. Hey, look, please. If you just say something. Hey, are you crazy? That's kerosene. Yes. Shouldn't bother trying to saw through handcuffs. Never make it in time. What do you mean? Am I supposed to? Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, no! You're kidding! You have to be kidding! Stood in street, watched it burn. Imagined limbless felt torsos inside, breasts blackening, bellies smoldering, bursting into flame one by one. Watched for an hour. Nobody got out. Stood in firelight, sweltering, bloodstain on chest like map of violent new continent. Felt cleansed, felt dark planet turn under my feet, and knew what cats know that makes them scream like babies in the night. Looked at sky through smoke, heavy with human fat. And God was not there. The cold, suffocating dark goes on forever, and we are alone. Live our lives lacking anything better to do. Devise reason later. Born from oblivion, bear children hell-bound as ourselves, go into oblivion. There is nothing else. Existence is random, has no pattern save what we imagine after staring at it for too long. No meaning save what we choose to impose. This rudderless world is not shaped by vague metaphysical forces. It is not God who kills the children, not fate that butchers them, or destiny that feeds them to the dogs. It's us, only us. Streets stank of fire. The void breathed hard on my heart, turning its illusions to ice, shattering them. Was reborn then, free to scrawl own design on this morally blank world. Was Rorschach. Does that answer your questions, Doctor? From the notes of Dr. Malcolm Long, October 28, 1985. Bought paper. Nixon says U.S. will meet continued Soviet aggression with maximum force. Inside article on nuclear alert procedure, it says that any dead family members should be wrapped in plastic garbage sacks and placed outside for collection. Home. Gloria reminded me that Randy and Diana were coming tonight. Looked cross when I confessed I'd forgotten. We dressed for dinner in silence. Dinner didn't go very well.
So, Mal, how are things going with this famous masked maniac of yours?
Today, he told me about a girl who got kidnapped.
Look, maybe this isn't such a good idea right now. Oh, boy. Was she tied up and gagged and helpless? Randy?
No, she was 6. Her abductor killed her, butchered her, and fed her to his German shepherds. Gloria, where are you going? Diana remembered that their babysitter had to be home early, and they left soon after dinner. Gloria went into the bedroom. I followed her. She walked out again into the hall. I sat on the bed. She came in wearing her coat, subjected me to a lot of crude sexual insults, went out, the front door slammed. Why do we argue? Life's so fragile, a successful virus clinging to a speck of mud suspended in endless nothing. Next week, I could be putting her into a garbage sack, placing her outside for collection. I sat on the bed. I looked at the Rorschach blot. I tried to pretend it looked like a spreading tree, shadows pooled beneath it. But it didn't. It looked more like a dead cat I once found. The fat, glistening grubs writhing blindly, squirming over each other, frantically tunneling away from the light. But even that is avoiding the real horror. The horror is this. In the end, it is simply a picture of empty, meaningless blackness. We are alone. There is nothing else.